Hello and welcome to this lecture, and in this lecture we are going to talk something about regular expressions. So regular expressions is one of the most crucial parts of Python programming, because what regular expression allows us to do is that regular expression allows us to kind of manipulate strings in our Python code. So for this entire section we are going to learn each and every possible thing about regular expressions, and the reason for dedicating an entire section to regular expressions is because when we will be learning Django for web development, then in that case we will need the knowledge about regular expressions. So the very first thing about regular expressions is regular expressions are a powerful tool for various kinds of string manipulation. So as I suggested, regular expressions are actually some expressions by which we could manipulate various kinds of strings. Now, there are mainly two tasks which we could perform by using regular expressions. The very first task which we could perform by using regular expression is to verify that strings match a particular pattern. So what I mean by that is, let's say you want to have a login form in your web application and you want to verify if the address or the email address entered by your user is correct. So in that case, what you could do is that you could form a regular expression which says that the email address entered should match up with a particular pattern. That means you should have the username, then you should have the @ sign, and then you should have some website name like gmail.com or yahoo.com. So that is one task which we could perform with regular expression, that is to verify if a string matches up with a pattern or not. The next task is that we could perform substitutions in a string. So let's say you are developing some application like a text editor. So you might have noticed that in text editor, we have a feature which is called as find and replace. That is, you find a certain word and you replace it with some other word. So by using regular expressions, you could also do that. That is, you could perform substitutions in a string. And there are a lot more things which you could do with regular expressions, and we are going to learn about them in the upcoming lectures. But for this lectures, let's take a simple example and understand how regular expression work. So the very first thing which we need to do to basically use regular expressions in Python is that first we need to import the module which is called as RE. So we simply type in import RE, and as the name suggests, RE stands for regular expressions. So this module right here contains a lot of functions related to regular expressions which we could use to perform string manipulation or string substitution. So for this lecture, what we are going to do is that we are going to write in some Python code which is going to have a regular expression, and we are going to have a particular pattern, and in that pattern we are going to have a regular expression, and we are going to have a string, and we are going to check if that string matches up with that particular pattern. So without wasting any time, let's go ahead and write in the code. So the very first thing which we do is that we need to define a pattern. So we type pattern equals, and here to pattern you actually need to pass in a regular expression. So while writing any regular expression, the first thing which you do is that you type in R, and this R actually stands for a raw string. And after this raw string, you specify the regular expression in these double quotes right here. So let's say we want to check for a pattern in a string which has eggs. So let's say we are looking for this pattern right here. That means the string should contain eggs. So I've taken this meaningless example, but a simple one, so as to make you guys understand how regular expression is matched up with a particular pattern. So the next thing which we do is that we use an if to check if the pattern matches up. So if you want to match a particular pattern with a given string, then what you need to do is that you need to use the match function. Now this match function is present in this RE module right here which we have imported. So in order to access that function, you type in re.match, and to this match, first thing which you'd pass in is going to be the pattern. So you specify pattern over here, give a comma, and the next parameter which you are going to pass into this is going to be the string in which you have to look for patterns. So let's pass in some string like eggs, and eggs. So right here is your string and right here is your pattern. So just by looking at this, we could say that this string matches up with this regular expression pattern, and that is because this thing right here contains all eggs. So after this we type in print, and let's say we type in match found, and we type in the else statement as well, and we print out no match found. So once we are done with this, we are pretty much done with the code. So now the only thing which we need to do is that we need to save the code, and we actually need to run it. So as you could see, as this pattern or as this string matches up with this pattern right here, we get the result as match found. Now what if we actually go ahead and add something else over here? So let's say we type in bacon over here, and if we save the code and if we run this, as you could see, still as we have the pattern of eggs in this, we are going to get the result as match found. And let's say we replace this by bacon as well, and let's say we have 2 eggs in between bacon. So if you save the code and now if you run this thing, as you could see, you will have the result as no match found, because now instead of following this pattern right here, what we have done here is that we have some different string right here, and this does not actually match up with the pattern. So what you need to take care of is that this string right here should always match up with this pattern which you have specified right over here. So this was a simple introduction to regular expressions, and there are actually many more functions to learn which we are going to learn in the duration of this section. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys in the next lecture. Thank you.